Hello again, it's Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit here on MAVTV, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week, and we are so glad you joined us. Ashley Stremme and Steve Post, or should I say, Mrs. Cosmos.
Yes.
Congratulations.
All of the above is fine.
All of the above, yes. Yes, your Highness, your Queendom, your Mrs. Cosmos.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Keep
Exactly.
going. I like
yes.
this.
Yes. Well, we'll only go so far, and then some other words will come out. So just settle down over there. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you.
that is really, really cool. In Jamaica, obviously we have the crown and the sash here and everything, but the experience, the competition, the winning, it all treated you well, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. A week in Jamaica, no one's going to complain. And then when you get to come back home and, you know, the sport that you love supports what you do is pretty incredible.
It really is, really is. We are so proud of you, that is for sure.
Thank you.
So you go from Jamaica home for a few days to Port Royal, which is home, which is real home, okay?
Yes.
But you had a chance to get up to Port Royal. How's everything up at the Speed Palace? Everyone all right up there?
Everything's good at the Speed Palace, of course. Even the racing was really good, unfortunately. Just Friday night, Saturday night got rained out. But it was hammer down, heavy track, but a heck of a battle between Anthony Macri and Aaron Reitzel for third there for the first half of the race. Absolutely incredible. And then, of course, you know, Donnie Schatz doing Donnie Schatz things.
Yeah, so. Exactly. And by the way, close to within 8 points of Brad Sweet, we have finally the World Finals with a point battle.
Right.
And it is going to be epic.
It's going to be
really,
insane.
truly is. We're going to talk to Paul Neiheiser. Now, Paul is one of those great drivers. He's the MOA champ, which is a great series out in Illinois, out in the Midwest. And we're going to talk to Paul, just one of the really good guys. And I don't think we've had him here on our MAVTV show. So can't wait to talk to him and successful season that he's coming off of and really having a neat time. So we will do that here in just a little bit. But Ashley mentioned the racing at Port Royal, and it was the Nittany Showdown up at the Speed Palace. Johnny Gibson and Earl Hoon on the call with with Dirt Vision. Oh, got to get my right pay-per-view with Dirt Vision. Okay. And yes, while Donnie Schatz won, Anthony Macri was the story. Here's his pass for second on Brian Brown. It's our Dryden Diesel all death-defying move of the week.
And now for the Dryden Death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Now here comes Anthony Macri. He's looking to the bottom side. We got a battle for second. Anthony Macri all over Brian Brown racing for second. Slide job into 1 and 2. Macri's got it at least for the moment.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official DEF of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAVTV. Let's go to the Hercules Tire Hotline, a guy that just had an absolutely stellar season. Picked up the MOA Championship, which is a great, great tour out in the Midwest. And looks like 12 victories so far, because there's still some racing left. Paul Neiheiser joins us. Hello, Paul. Welcome into Wing Nation.
Hey, Steve. Hey, Ashley. Thanks for having me.
Man, it is great to chat with you. I follow the results all the time. We see occasionally at the races. Always enjoy when we get a chance to chat at the track. See the results. It seems like every time I open up one of the press releases from your team, you're standing there with a trophy, a check, and a big smile on your face. I just said you had a stellar season. What's your assessment on how 2019 has been for you?
I would go along with that. I'd say it's probably, the last several years, each year I say it's the best one yet, and I'd go along with that again this year. We had plenty of speed outside of the MOA Tour, and I've been running a lot of these tracks for quite a few years now. I think I'm going on 8 or 9 years in a 410, and I'm only 23, so I feel like I should be pretty good around here. But when we go step outside our comfort zone, and we've raced some of the touring series and stuff like that, we were pretty fast. So still knocking on the door for some of those wins, but overall, very pleased.
12 wins this season, and what intrigues me about what you do more than anything, and the guys we talk about that are real diehard racers. Yeah. That's all they live, breathe, sleep, eat. And you're one of those guys. You're in the Chili Bowl. You run 410s. You run 305s. You run 360s. Wingless. I mean, the story goes on and on. It's absolutely incredible. How do you really stay diverse and switch up amongst those cars throughout the season?
Well, I'm trying to be as good as some of those other guys. Fortunately, I've gotten to run the Chili Bowl in some pretty good equipment the last 2 years. And I actually just ran my first wingless stuff this year. I think I ran a non-wing race at Jacksonville, and then I went to Kokomo, so that was kind of like throwing me in with the wolves. But just stuff I want to continue to do more of. I think the more you race, and especially different types of cars, I think a lot of things may be different between the two where they don't really correlate, but I feel like you can learn a lot of techniques, too, from something so different that you could maybe apply to another kind of car. And, been pretty busy. I've run 60 or so races the last 2 or 3 years, and that's plenty for a guy that doesn't do it full time when I do stuff outside of racing too. So keeps me plenty busy.
How do you coordinate that? I guess because I know you field your own team for the 410s. Are you fielding some of these other cars? Are you picking up rides? Are you looking at a big schedule board and putting things together with who you know? How does that work?
Well, fortunately, the midget deal I just was able to drive for somebody else. I don't have any of that equipment myself, but actually looking for a ride this winter still. My old car owner has sold out all his stuff here this fall, so we'll see if we can put something together again for this winter. But the wingless stuff and my 360 and 410 has all been my own stuff out of my own shop, and then the few 305 races I did just to kind of stay busy on Sundays or whatever when the schedule would allow was one of my friends from high school, actually. So he has a car, and we just kind of go play with that when we can.
Absolutely
right.
Incredible. Now, speaking of just going and playing, I want to talk about the Jesse Hockett and McMillan Memorial, just because I know you played double duty there between the wing car and the non-wing car. How crazy was that?
Well, it was only crazy for just a little bit, actually. I was really looking forward to that, and I had gotten all the non-wing components that I needed after I got my eyes opened up at Kokomo. And we qualified. I made the invert, so I had to pull my heat race, and I had like the torque tube and stuff start coming apart, and had a power steering pump locked up. And my prelim night was Thursday, and I knew that we were there to compete in the wing car, and we decided to just pull the plug because everything was back to back to back, and we ended up, last in points because I didn't even finish my heat race on the first night. So looking forward to doing that again, but unfortunately we weren't as busy as we planned on being.
No, sometimes that's the old racing gremlins will jump up and maybe save you from yourself. Actually,
yeah. I mean, it was just me and 2 other guys too, so just way too much to keep up with when things didn't go right. If we had a smooth night in both, I think we could have done it no problem. But we just couldn't do it.
We're talking to Paul Neiheiser here on the program. Paul, I want to go way, 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 way back, okay? My understanding is that your racing career got started in maybe a junior high school parking lot, going to see a buddy race and winning the 50-50. Is that how you got all started?
Yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I had a buddy at daycare that he ran quarter midgets for a number of years, and my parents and I decided to go watch. I mean, we were NASCAR fans, and we decided to go watch one day at a regional race here in Taylorville, Illinois, and won the 50-50, and we were hooked, and that went towards my first car. But the first laps I turned were in his car at a local junior high parking lot that was paved in the back.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's absolutely, and the rest is history.
Yes.
Pretty much.
Go.
Yep, here we are about 16 years later, I guess.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
And you've dabbled in just about everything since that day, right?
Yeah, I ran mini sprints for a few years after quarter midgets. I think I ran them both, 3 or 4 years apiece, and then I jumped right into a 410, I guess, when I was 15. So been doing that for quite a while now.
Now, you said your father and you were NASCAR fans back at that point, and I think your first car might have been number 88 for Dale Jarrett, and then your second car had a number 20 for Tony Stewart, and your current car is 9, although you've had to put the X on it because you're running against Casey Kane's cars. You still follow NASCAR, or are you too busy in the sprint car world now?
No, actually, that's kind of like what I like to do on a Sunday is watch NASCAR, but the 9 stuck. I went to the Chili Bowl, and one of my quarter midget friends, their mom actually was helping a team that was parked directly next to Casey, and they got me through the caution tape or whatever, keeping all the crazy fans back, and I got to hang out with him, and that was just the coolest thing ever. So that's where the 9 came from, and then the X has stuck since running with the World of Outlaws. So
There's a pretty good picture out there that I saw of a young Paul and an older Paul with Casey as well. That was pretty good too.
That's neat.
Yeah,
That
we did that. We remade that this year at the Chili Bowl, actually.
Oh my God, I did not see that. That's
Yeah,
awesome. I gotta
that's
have
great.
to look that up. That is for sure. Paul, hang in there with us. Everyone else, stick around. More with Paul Neiheiser in just a moment.
Do a little shopping? Well, I heard an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and 10 keeps the competition away. I got you a Granny Smith, seeing you're a little sour.
From sweet to tart and everything in between, Sage Fruit supplies every variety of apple that shoppers may be looking for. For over 3 generations, they've been providing customers with only the best apples, pears, and cherries that Washington has to offer.
You're finally taking my advice.
Well, something like that. I figured out how to get my 10 apples in a day. Sage Fruit, it's the choice of champions.
Ashley Stremme and Steve Post here. It's Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit on MAVTV. Having a ball on the Hercules Tire Hotline, Paul Neiheiser has joined us. And Paul, we talked a lot of racing in the first stage, but we always like to take a little time and get away from the racetrack and talk about different other things, non-racing type things. And prior to our conversation on the air, we were chatting with you, and it sounds like you got quite the project that you're working on in a business you're starting to put together.
Yeah, going out on a little bit of a limb, starting up a business. I'm actually partners with one of my longtime friends and sponsors, Bob Hawks, and we're starting up this powder coating shop. And we've been moving equipment from Indianapolis, a place we bought out, over here to Jacksonville, and that's been keeping us plenty busy. Moving into that shop and finishing the remodel. And then aside from that, I'm a 6th-generation only child farm kid. So between harvest and that, we've been plenty busy here this fall.
I love it. 6 generations of farming. Now, I've got to ask, what is it that you farm?
We just basically pretty typical farm around here is just corn, soybeans, and some type of livestock. So we actually we raise pigs.
So harvest season, okay, as a guy that used to hate baling hay with my dad for the 6 horses and cows that we owned, what is harvest season like on the farm with the volume I'm sure you guys are dealing with?
It's definitely hectic. I mean, the hours are long. They're long days. There's just kind of a certain window to get the crops in the spring, and a certain window you have to get it done and get them out in the fall. So you can expect a 12, 14, 16-hour day here or there for several weeks in a row. And like I say, it's not always the most pleasant. Saturday, Sunday, doesn't matter if it's a holiday, but you got to get it done.
But thankfully, harvest season kind of goes, I should say, I guess the planting season as well. It works with the racing schedule, doesn't it?
For the most part. There's sometimes when maybe in the spring or the fall we travel a little bit more, but we're a little more anchored here locally. So we just, my schedule, I travel more in the summer, I'd say, when things are slower. And, I just kind of logistically do things that make sense with all the other things we've got going on. So that's sometimes why I don't go run Ohio Sprint Week or something for 9 days, just because that's not feasible with my schedule.
No, it sounds like a big challenge. That would be, that's for sure. Would you? Okay, so you're the 6th-generation farmer, okay, and I know that's a passion of yours. It's a family passion. You're talking the powder coating business. You're also a race car driver. Other than juggling it, would you like to see the racing thing take off full time, or where would you like to see this shuffle out as far as the balance goes?
That's a good question. I'm not sure how I'd do it any different right now. Obviously, a big goal of any young guy or any young racer would just be to be able to race full-time or be on a tour. I know with all the irons I have in the fire, it would probably require a little bit of a change team-wise, or having some staff or something to come and take care of business where I can't be married to it all week long and still take care of business here. So I'd need some type of team to drive for, more of a show-up type of thing, or some guys in the shop during the week to take a little bit of that load off of myself. So I'm not sure. I'd like to see it expand and be able to run 70 races my whole life at least every year, and I guess time will tell.
You talk about having a guy in the shop. You've had a guy in the shop, your dad. What's it like? What's that been like to have that bond, that relationship, that working with your father?
It's been really cool. In fact, I've said this before, but especially when I was younger, just my mom and dad and I up and down the road, all summer long. And I don't think a lot of kids get that time with their family or their parents. So I feel pretty fortunate for all the miles and hours I've got to hang out with them. And since I've been running a sprint car, we actually have a really good group of guys. They're all volunteers. I don't have a payroll, but usually one night a week or something, we'll all come out here and get things cleaned up and do tire prep or whatever it takes to get the car ready to go the next weekend, and then a lot of the washing and stuff I do when we get home myself. So just a lot of hours spent out here, and definitely couldn't do what we do without the group of guys we got.
It is incredible to have a good support system, none other than your family, of course. But so we know that farming takes up a bunch of your time. Racing takes up a bunch of your time. A new business is going to take up a bunch of your time. But in your free time, is there anything you love to do? I thought I saw some hunting pics in there.
Yeah, living out here in the country, we do a little bit of hunting and fishing. I actually really enjoy playing golf. I'm not any good at it, but I like to do it here and there in the summer whenever, the days are longer, so maybe 5 o'clock, you got a couple hours before the sun sets to go out there and do that. So other than that, I don't have too many hobbies. I guess there's not really too many more hours in the day for anything else.
No, sounds like it. I'm tired just thinking about your schedule. It is amazing. And the good news for us is you do have some more racing. You're coming to Charlotte for the World Finals next week.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. It's always a blast, and I don't think they're doing that go-kart race this year, but I think there's something going on up there at Millbridge, right, Steve?
Yeah, there is. There's micro sprints up at Millbridge on Tuesday and Wednesday night.
Yeah, I might have to go up there for that or something.
Yeah, that'd be great. That would be great. We look forward to seeing you next week. But, hey, Paul, we appreciate the time. Thanks for spending some time and sharing your story with us here.
All right, I appreciate you guys having me on. We'll see you next week.
There we go. Paul Neiheiser, one of the great guys joining us on the Hercules Tire Hotline, and you can win a set of Hercules tires. We are looking for your vote, your registration at HerculesTires.com/MRN. That's HerculesTires.com/MRN. Stay with us. Our Tweet Your Seat tweets of the week are coming up next.
Wherever you go, Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading protection to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
We're back. You're watching Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit, and it is your time of the week. It's time to tweet your seats. Tweet your seats, whatever.
Easy for her to say. She's Mrs. Cosmos after all, yeah.
Well, we're kicking it off with none other than my favorite place in the whole wide world, the Speed Palace, Port Royal Speedway. Tweets come from Mark, Andy, Kenny, Jed, and Bert. It is the Nittany Showdown World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series.
Yes.
You should do it, Johnny Gibson. Yeah. Anyhow.
Exactly.
Donnie Schatz, we talked about this earlier. 11th win of the season, third straight at Port Royal, and the points battle is on for this weekend.
It really is. The World Finals is coming up at Charlotte, and it is going to be great. 8 points between Schatz is only behind Brad Sweet. It is going to be great. Anthony Macri, I think we talked about this, and Brian Brown a little bit earlier. They were also on the podium. The next day back to Port Royal, these pictures from Mark, from Rich, from Jordan, and from Nigel, and, well, as you can see, the winner on Saturday at Port Royal was that old rascal Mother Nature. So bummer that it ends up like that. And here we come into Charlotte with the World of Outlaws going to wrap it up here at the World Finals.
This tweet comes from Kelly. It is Marysville Speedway, the Spooktacular 360 Sprint Saturday night. Your winner was Andy Frostberg. He started 7th, and your podium was Shane Hopkins and Cole Macedo.
Andy, just one of the great California racers. Really, really is a good guy. Last Thursday night, Orange County Fairgrounds in Middletown, New York. This tweet is from Chatty Patty. It is the Eastern States weekend, big weekend of racing. On Thursday, they had an open 360 show. Jordan Thomas was the winner. Now, many of you in the Northeast remember Spider Thomas, and that's his dad. Jordan is a next-generation racer. He picked up the win. Billy Van Wingerden, Lucas Wolf, the podium finishers. Oh, by the way, the Eastern States 200, Stuart Friesen won the big modified race. Not a shocker there. That is one of those epic weekends. I did a lot of Eastern States back in the day. I love that weekend, and I love they started out with some 360 sprints on Thursday night. Pretty good stuff.
Well, our season is slowly coming to an end, but in Australia, it is opening night at Perth Motorplex. This tweet comes from Rob. Your winner was Callum Williamson, his first career win with a pass at the white
Yeah,
flag.
how about that?
Pretty awesome stuff. Your Sean Bradford finished second, and Lincoln McCoe was second.
Yes, absolutely. Now, not a lot of racing, but a lot of activity. And Ashley, this is one from you. Tell us about this. A school assembly up at Port Royal. What was the story there?
Pretty cool stuff. So the kids get rewarded at quarterly for their good behavior and helping others and all that good stuff. So this one was racing themed. So they brought in some local sprint car drivers like Dylan Cisney. They brought in some late model guys like Devin Hart, TJ Stutz was there. I was there, and Johnny Gibson was there. So it was pretty cool. An assembly. They had the sprint cars out back that the kids got to go out and see them after we got done talking. But that's what it's like to grow up in a community that is sounded in sprint car racing.
Man, they never had that when I was in school. I would start to do a speech on racing, and everyone would roll their eyes and tell me to shut up. At Port Royal, they have assemblies. You win. You win the right to do that. That's
and
great.
The kids were racing T-shirts. The teachers were racing T-shirts. It was super, super cool. And you've done some cool stuff. I've been watching your videos this week. Holy finishes!
Yes, yeah. Millbridge Speedway last Wednesday night. Carson Quapple, or Travis Quapple, Truck Series champion from a few years back. He's got two boys that we're going to need to keep an eye on, and I don't know which one we need to keep more of an eye on. They had a whale of a finish. The older brother Carson got the win in this one at Millbridge Speedway, and it was a wild finish. Great stuff out there with the Outlaw karts, okay? Millbridge Speedway, also part of the World Finals, and Paul had mentioned this, coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday night, $2,000 to win on Tuesday night, non-wing micro sprints, and on Wednesday night, $5,000 to win. So all part of the big World Finals weekend. So, and we'll have more about World Finals coming up. Want to remind you again, HerculesTires.com/MRN. Your chance to win another set of tires. Again, that's HerculesTires.com/MRN. More in just a moment.
Do a little shopping? Well, I heard an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and 10 keeps the competition away. I got you a Granny Smith, seeing you're a little sour.
From sweet to tart and everything in between, Sage Fruit supplies every variety of apple that shoppers may be looking for. For over 3 generations, they've been providing customers with only the best apples, pears, and cherries that Washington has to offer.
You're finally taking my advice.
Well, something like that. I figured out how to get my 10 apples in a day. Sage Fruit, it's the choice of champions.
Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit here on MAVTV. Having a ball, and we are so glad you joined us, and it is a home game for us. It's the Can-Am World Finals, which the sad news is it means the end of the season.
It does.
The good news for us here in North Carolina, we get to sleep at home, and we have got a whole bunch of events. Now it starts, we talked a little bit about Millbridge. They have Tuesday and Wednesday night racing. Wednesday, our buddy Greg Wilson, Hercules Tires, is going to be in Little Rock Road in Charlotte, Griffin Tire. So you can go over there, and they usually do hot dogs and hamburgers. So you can kick it off with Greg Wilson, okay? Wednesday night, at 6 o'clock, the Can-Am World Finals kickoff party. It's at the Pavilion by ZMAX Racing. Our buddy Lenny Baticki's going to have PRNs at the track, food, drinks, and listen to this, Dirty Grass Soul is going to be there playing some music. That's a great group here locally. So that's Wednesday night. Thursday night, we have qualifying night. They get the field set for the heat races for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, World of Outlaw Late Models, and the Super Dirt Car Series Modifieds. Friday and Saturday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Dryden Wing Nation Race Day. Oh, we're going to light it up. Oh, we're going to sing some songs. We're going to interview some, I don't know what we're going to do. It's going to be a crazy time. And the gates open at 4. So that's where we're right there before the gates will be opening, okay?
Us.
And then this one here, Saturday morning, 11 a.m., next Saturday morning, Dryden Wing Nation Legends Live, NASCAR Hall of Fame. We've got Ray Evernham, class of 2018 NASCAR Hall of Fame, Tony Stewart, who will be inducted, and they're going to interview legends of sprint car racing. Listen to this, Bobby Allen, Billy Pouch, Dave Blaney, and more.
And if you don't think a story or two is going to be told there, you're not going to want to miss it.
So that is next Saturday morning, Dryden Wing Nation Legends Live at the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Uptown Charlotte. World Finals weekend. Oh, it's going to be fantastic. Are you kidding me?
It.
I know. Unreal. It really is. We appreciate Paul Neiheiser for joining us. More important than all of that, thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit.